Hey friends, 343 just released their outcomes report for Season 1 of Halo Infinite. If you don't know what an outcomes report is, it's essentially 343's takeaway notes on what they need to work on going forward. The list was mostly comprised of stuff we already know, but there are some nuggets in there about Season 2 content, which we're going to discuss. I'll be honest, if you were hoping Season 2 would improve Halo Infinite, you'll probably be let down. This upcoming season seems to more or less just respond to some of the issues folks had last year during the summer and fall playtests. Outside of that, not a lot is being added. For my own sanity, we're not going to dwell too much on the state of the game, but I am going to talk about it after we go over some of these notes. You know what also helps with my sanity though? Paying the bills. Which brings us to today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Infinite Galaxy. What is Infinite Galaxy, you may ask? Why, it's only one of the most robust mobile sci-fi experiences out there. It's up to you to expand into the galaxy by upgrading your home base, exploring and reading about our solar system, strengthening your fleet and expanding your crew via the game's in-depth RPG systems, and then, only once you are prepared, push into enemy territory with the game's engaging PvP fleet battles. But wait, that's not all, because it will also be up to you to take to the stars in the game's Ace Strike missions, piloting your own starship and engaging in spaceflight PvE battles with dazzling visual effects and skyboxes. Use the link in the description below to download Infinite Galaxy and get access to $60 worth of in-game gifts for supporting the channel. Get out there, there's a galaxy to explore, and a thank you to Infinite Galaxy for sponsoring the video. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys the Cliff Notes list of everything they've been looking at. Keep in mind, not all of this will be in Season 2, but this is what 343 has learned from our feedback, so let's go over it and I'll give you my thoughts. For the audio, the team's going to be reducing the third-person sounds of the shield recharge in Season 2. The Grunt Birthday Party audio is also going to be increased in the campaign for Season 2. The team is also looking into disabling the hit marker ticks for the Dynamo Grenade in Ranked, but no promises for Season 2. They won't be addressing the issue of audio behind the player being muted, since that's actually a hardware issue with certain audio setups, but they have let those manufacturers know about the problem. Moving on over to multiplayer, a new arena map will be added called Catalyst in Season 2. King of the Hill is being patched back into the game. Attrition will be added to Infinite's playlists. Players in Attrition will be able to move instantly after getting up. The motion tracker is also being buffed with a new edge function to help track sprinting and weapons fire outside of the radar's range. Moving on over to Big Team Battle, a new Big Team Battle map is being added for Season 2. It has a giant laser on it, and behind the scenes they are currently working on more Big Team Battle maps. Jeff Steitzer is being patched back into Big Team Battle in Season 2 after he was removed for Infinite's version of Big Team Battle. Improvements are being made to the squad system in Season 2. Vehicle drops in Big Team Battle do have issues, and the team is tracking the cause of them, but they'll share more when they can, so chances are nothing for Season 2 on that front. Uneven weapon spawns were also fixed, and they'll be there for Season 2. So, on the topic of ranked play, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I'm just not the biggest fan of Halo Infinite's ranked play or its CSR system, so a lot of this just goes over my head because I'm not familiar with it. I'll leave the discussion about if this is good or bad to those who are more experienced with it, but the interesting takeaways for me at least is that 343 doesn't want to add a way to opt out of crossplay, and they're looking to expand the playlist system so that players can find the matches that they want to play. They did mention the MCC's matchmaking composer, which I hope they end up going for, but who knows at this point, you know? They're also not very interested in a region selecting feature, but if the community really wants one, they'll evaluate it. So, on the topic of custom games, they're going to be expanding the modularity of Halo Infinite's custom game options, but no confirmation if this will be in Season 2. Bug fixes for stability and a lack of polish will also be coming with Season 2's custom games. The team is in the early phase of production on a custom games server browser, like Halo 5 and the MCC. Forge is also still being worked on, and it'll contain many community-requested features, but ultimately it's just hype at this point. Improvements were made to the Spartan chatter and AI banter in Season 2, and if the community wants even more ways to tweak the chattiness of Spartans and the AI buddy during gameplay, 343 will look into it. On the topic of PC, there's been improvements made to the stability and performance, and these will be included in Season 2, and internally 343 is working on more ways to improve the optimization for high refresh rates. On the topic of anti-cheat, 343 is working on ways to report cheaters in-game and improving the anti-cheat, but no confirmation if this will even be in Season 2. Also, Red Reticle will not be coming to PC because 343 still believes it's the best choice for the health of the game. On the topic of networking, fixes for laggy melee attacks and players phasing through each other will come with Season 2, and improvements are being worked on for shot registration and desync, but no confirmation if that'll be in there for Season 2. Weapons! So, melee damage across the board will be reduced by 10% in Season 2, which will make the Mangler less powerful. The Ravager will get a damage increase in Season 2. 343 will begin to tune the Plasma Pistol Pulse Carbine Commando after Season 2 launches so they can check and see the state of the sandbox. 343 might also look into adding a faster Gravity Hammer melee strike, but not for Season 2. Fixes for the rocket launcher's buggy splash damage are coming in Season 2, and buffs will be coming to the drop wall and overshields for Season 2. On the topic of vehicles, the Chopper's collision damage is being buffed in Season 2. The Banshee's handling and damage are being buffed in Season 2, and improvements are being made to the physics of the Warthog and Razorback in Season 2. The Mongoose may see some changes, but later on down the line. So, on the topic of player outlines and shield visual effects, 343 is looking into ways to improve the shield visual effects, but who knows if that'll be there for Season 2. There is also going to be ways to tweak the thickness and opacity of the glowing player outlines in Season 2. They're working on a way to flat out disable them for players, but that's a bit down the line. On the topic of player movement, they have no plans to improve the player physics to bring back things like grenade jumping. They apparently think that Infinite is a good middle ground between classic physics and what modern gamer audiences like in shooters, and there's also no plans to bring back player collision for friendlies, but 343 would like to bring it back as at least a custom games option, which is good by me. On the topic of aiming, 343 hasn't really touched on the negative aim assist issues as well as some of the problems with the sniper rifle, but they are looking into ways they can improve the balance between controller and keyboard and mouse. They just need a bit more data. They're also going to be investigating a bug on PC that affects aim assists. All in all, this aiming section was just a lot of we'll see, but not a lot of concrete information. Aiming in Halo Infinite doesn't feel good. If you play any other shooter on the market, you know what I'm talking about. Something feels off. Infinite feels sluggish and unresponsive. Hopefully, if we can keep talking about it, 343 can eventually find some of the issues that are maybe causing this. On the topic of UX and UI, there's going to be improvements made to the customization screen later down the line. They're also going to let players look at challenges in the pause menu later down the line. They're also going to be looking at a way to add primary and secondary grenade icons to the HUD later down the line. There's also going to be HUD customization options later down the line, as well as muting players from the scoreboard later down the line. And that was basically the gist of it. So Season 2 of Halo Infinite is going to bring some much needed improvement to the game. They're going to be buffing the Ravager, the Banshee, the drop wall, and the stability and performance on PC is going to be improved. King of the Hill is being patched back in, and a new arena and big team battle map will be available for all players. There was a long list of things they're working on, like custom game server browser HUD customization options and more, and just generally there was a lot to read. On paper, I should be really enthusiastic. When actually writing this breakdown, I felt so deflated. Many of 343's developers follow me on Twitter. Many of them are even people I'm friendly with. Some have unfollowed me for how critical I've been after the launch of the game, and to be frank, I don't blame them. Halo Infinite is in such a rough spot for the hardcore community that it's hard to escape the cynicism and anger. It's hard for me to even enjoy the game because of how just unfinished it currently is compared to previous Halo games. There just isn't a lot to talk about, and it feels like it's still in a beta period. Viewership for Halo Infinite related content has dropped off, and generally people are just moving on to other games. That's frustrating for the players of Halo Infinite, and I'm sure it's frustrating for the developers too. Lately, I've been having a lot of fun escaping from Halo Infinite negativity by doing my Evolution series and even branching out to other games. It doesn't mean that I hate Halo or that I'm done with it forever, but I guess I need to be smarter about what I cover. I need to find that balance between enjoying what I'm doing as a YouTuber and earning money. And right now, I don't have it in me to then jump on the complain train and start making videos about why Halo Infinite failed in X or Y. I'm sure Halo Infinite will be good someday, but when I read the note list and it's mostly promises of stuff down the line after 5 months of nothing, and refusing to budge on things like improving player physics or putting Red Reticle back on PC, it just makes me think that the day that Halo Infinite will be good is a long way out. But as always, how do you feel about Halo Infinite? Am I being melodramatic? Yeah, a bit, but how melodramatic? Let me know down below, and you guys should check out my Twitch channel. I'll be streaming on it more, and hopefully we can have some fun conversations there. I'll leave you guys to it, and I'll see you on the next video.